Good morning and welcome to the biggest and best breakfast show in the world. It's The Big Show with Glenn, Angel, FD, Shaun, and today we have award-winning psychologist from the therapy room, the one and only Dr. Geraldine Tan.
Hi, Glenn. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning,
How
Dr.
come you
Cherry.
look so different today, eh?
She's not in her office.
On holiday.
She's on holiday.
Not in my office. I am doing a workshop at the Samaritans of Singapore, and they kindly lent me the meeting room before our workshop. How sweet.
Wow,
Oh,
nice.
thank you for doing this despite the fact that you're not in the office and you have something on later.
Yeah.
I get to have an adventure. I've my intern bringing mic. Bring my mic.
That is not working, so.
No worries. But I have to say, you look a bit different today. You remind me of the Geraldine I met, when you were in college.
Oh,
Oh no, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a good thing.
he's
That's
saying
a good
that you
thing.
look younger.
You
Yeah.
look much. You look younger.
You
That's
look
a good-
16.
I don't know whether I really want to look 16 or not,
Yeah, don't worry. Glenn's always trying to find different ways to get on your couch. So that was one of the ways.
That sounded so wrong.
I know,
Yes,
right?
it did. Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, not us, Glenn. Did you play dressed up last week?
Did you play dress up last week?
No.
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 Yeah, he's cold today, so
Yeah,
he
I'm-
thought he'd layer the t-shirts.
Yes.
He's got multiple T-shirts on today.
Okay, so Jerry, we are going to be talking about relationships today. There's a little bit of a delay, right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is.
So go on, tell us, what is it about relationships that we'll be talking about today?
Well, I actually want to ask everyone whether they tried the 5 tips. I know yet last week it was quite strange. Delivered the 5 tips. Is it a very bad delay on your side?
Kinda.
Yeah,
Okay, you know what?
kinda.
Let's
this out.
just fix this. In
Yeah.
the meantime, here's wet with Love Is All Around. I
Oh,
know,
there she is.
but
We do change.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
How's it going?
You're not using a phone, right?
I'm
better.
using Cassie's phone.
See?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's clear now.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is much better now. The connection is much better.
What'd you say?
Go home and what?
Now Cassie cannot go home and sleep. She
Oh.
dropped the
Oh dear.
I tell you, me and technology are not friends at all. So,
Aw.
So Jerry, I just want you to know that mic is a singer's microphone,
Yeah.
so it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So when you're talking, right, you've got to consistently be in front of the microphone in order for us to hear you clearly. So you can't move about as much as you usually
Yeah.
do in your office. You have to
Right.
to be directly in front of the microphone.
And then you can try singing a
Okay.
song and see if that theory is true.
no, no.
No? Okay, no.
Okay, let's get down to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So conflicts in
Yes.
relationships.
Yep. And we want to hear conflicts that everyone faces in the relationships. So we all have relationships, right? So I'm eager to find out at the different stages of our relationship, what do we argue about? Before I go into my 5 different conflicts.
Okay.
Wow.
So like Sean, dating, right? What
Yeah.
kind of conflicts do you have?
Conflict. I think the main one will be like who you spend your time with or what kind of attention you're giving people. Because in my situation, I teach a fitness class as well, and I have a lot of other female friends around me. Yeah, so sometimes I give my attention out to various people. Yeah, so I just need to reassure her, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
you mix around with so many females. Yeah.
That's tough, and I think it's human nature to get a little jealous from time to time.
Which is understandable.
insecure. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's
I
jealous.
think
of
it's
a cer-
jealousy.
Jealousy, yeah.
Insecurity as well,
Not
right?
so
Both
much
guys and
insecure,
girls
yeah.
jealous.
A little bit.
I don't know whether jealousy is actually rooted in insecurity.
Yeah, it's part
I
of
think
it.
it's all
I
part
think
and
it is
parcel.
rooted in insecurity.
It's part of it because I mean, for example, he wants more of his partner's time, or she wants more of her partner's time. But they're out there with their other friends, or in your case, because you conduct spin classes and all that, right?
Yeah.
And you're a very social creature. Everyone seems close to you.
Everyone wants a bit piece of you, basically, but
true.
not necessarily
and
in
so
that sense.
she might turn to you one day and go like, I don't feel special
Yeah.
because you
give
treat
your
everyone
time.
the same.
That's true.
So how do you handle that?
I try to like limit my time and stuff like that. Very hard to.
But does that make you feel like you're not being your authentic self?
No, I feel authentic. I feel like I can have conversations with her. I spend a lot of time with her as well, so it's okay. Yeah, so I try to like make sure that I don't spend too much time with other people
Others.
versus
Yeah.
and also I try to be as accountable as I can. So I let her know if I'm going out with whoever, or if I'm doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
Has she asked you to put your WhatsApp location on yet?
Not yet. I volunteer
Coming!
information.
It's coming!
I don't think people should do that,
No,
right,
yeah.
Jerry? That's a no-no, right?
No, unless you're a child.
It depends. It depends. I think last week when we talked about it, and many of you have a reaction towards it. But what if it is a very genuine intention of trying to know whether the person is safe or not?
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go for a traffic update, and we come
Okay.
back. We'll talk about this again. We were talking about jealousy, right? And how jealousy stems from insecurity in relationships, and we brought up a few examples, and someone said, that there are people who track their partners, for example,
Yeah.
right? I don't know how it's done. They have these tracking devices that you
They
can put in
do?
your car or what else in the phone.
Or you can just share your
Your location on WhatsApp,
or your
Telegram.
live location, so
Yeah.
wherever you go,
Yeah.
people know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're asking, Jerry, is that too much?
I think to each his own, right? If there has something, like if a partner has done something wrong and the months of it, sometimes is part of that whole recovery process, but it doesn't mean that it helps to build the trust any more than, not having it at all. Yeah.
That doesn't sound normal. I couldn't deal with that.
Oh yeah.
Even if I have aired.
I couldn't,
You
I
know-
couldn't be tracked.
It's like to be tracked,
No.
to be, in order to be forgiven.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think as long as you're tracking
hard.
someone, that memory of the mistake never goes away. You never come to terms with it. Every time you look at that phone, you see, oh, that's where he is. This is on the phone because.
Well, I mean, a mistake has been made, and if you're trying to fix something, and if that's going to help the person who was betrayed, then
I don't know
the person that's the person's healing process.
I don't know that it does.
Then the person who made that mistake has to deal with it, or walk away.
Yeah.
okay.
I suppose it
Last week
depends.
we were talking about the three C's, right? Communication, compromise, and commitment. So the communication has been broken. So the first thing we want to do is to rebuild the communication. So many people assume that putting a tracker or taking photos of where they are become part of that nonverbal communication. But
Yeah.
maybe it is not. Or perhaps we need to look at other ways of communicating before we can find that compromise with each other.
So in that sense, do you think, Jerry, some people they're just suited to be single
Alone
I
forever.
knew
and not in a relationship? Because you know what? Actions can lead to hurt.
Yeah.
Words can lead to hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a result of that, if you're in a relationship, you might have to compromise. Because if you want peace in the Middle East, that's it.
Yeah.
You have to give in.
Mind games can
Like
lead
for
to
example,
hurt.
someone who is a social creature, right, gets into a relationship, and then the lady in that relationship goes, I don't like this girl, I don't like that girl, I need you to never speak to them ever again.
Which kind of brings us to the topic of what FD had said earlier about this story that you had about a girl that could not get along with anyone, and so she fell in love with inanimate objects.
Objectophilia is what it's
Have you
called.
heard of that, Jerry?
It's not uncommon. I forget what it's called in Japan, but where they have life-size dolls, and they would rather, their life, or they have dolls as wife. I
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah. Thi-
remember what it's called again. Yeah.
This woman doesn't have a doll as a partner. She's in love with the Boeing 737, an airplane. So she gets emotionally attached and passionately attached to inanimate objects because she
Well,
cannot deal with humans.
The object doesn't answer back. The object takes her everywhere that she wants to take. She wants to go. Fulfills many of her needs. I suppose that they have some sort of relationship, just not a human-to-human relationship, right?
Okay, let's continue to talk to Jerry on the Big Show TV. In the meantime, here's Shawn Mendes with Mercy on 1FM 91.3. Wow, okay, we're going in all sorts of directions.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
Streamline.
Maybe you should get us back on track, Jerry.
Okay, the top 5 conflicts. The top 5 conflicts that people usually face. So nothing to do with mistakes, nothing to do with inanimate objects. Let's just look at our basic fundamental relationships first, which many of us have. So the 5 things that sometimes we hear in sessions that they argue about: one, financial.
Okay.
Okay.
Where to spend the money?
Yeah.
Whether one person is spending too much money, whether a person is hoarding money, that also can become a source of conflict. The other one is religion. It could be, so we have double barrel marriages, interracial marriages, interreligious marriages. And if we don't talk about it, it can become a problem later on. This one is really cute. Cleaning, the housework. If
Yeah.
we don't divide and conquer, this becomes a point of argument, and it's so petty. Like,
Yeah.
I did the dishes yesterday. Today is your turn. Why are you asking me to do the dishes today?
Yeah.
Comes an argument, a full-blown argument. The other one is parenting. This we get very often in sessions, and sometimes therapists get triangulated into their argument. You think this method correct or not? Not correct, right? You better tell my husband that.
Oh,
We go
Wow.
like, oh no, I'm not getting involved. But if both are not aligned and both don't see eye to eye, it becomes a problem. And the last one, something that Glenn would not have an issue, is sex.
Okay.
wow.
Glenn does not have an issue with that. No.
No.
It's dress nerves.
Yes, he's dressed up.
Yeah.
Oh
Remember,
yeah, the
yeah,
role playing.
yeah,
Yes,
the
yeah,
role-playing.
absolutely.
Yeah, actually, I do have a problem. Not enough.
Not enough. That's the problem, right?
That is a problem, right?
Yes, it is. It is. So some couples, they complain that they don't get enough. Some complain it's too much. The other people all the time. Yeah. So if we don't talk about it, it becomes a problem.
It's true. I
I think the other one would be not adventurous enough.
enough. Yes.
Does this come down to Dr. Jerry expectations?
many times it is expectations, and if we don't discuss what we bring into the relationship, it becomes a problem for the both parties.
But what if you've discussed what you bring into the relationship and then the relationship changes? You know, no longer does that one person want to have as much sex, or the other person doesn't want to do the cleaning, or he doesn't cook anymore and she doesn't do this anymore. You know, things change in a relationship.
Yeah.
But you went in knowing what you were signing up for. And then after a few years, everything sort of, stops.
It's always different before marriage.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always different before marriage, and I can tell you this.
Yeah.
For a fact.
No matter what. Yeah.
But we know, so the last session we talked about growing in the relationship, right? And we know that this person that we marry will never be the same as 10 years ago. So we know that we ought to grow with the person. There are times that something happens to a spouse. Are we going to say, just because you're not keeping your side of the bargain, so therefore I'm going to divorce you? If not,
No,
we're
no,
going to
of
have
course
really high rates of divorce when someone falls sick.
Yeah.
Someone has an illness, someone, has something terminal or has an accident and is incapable anymore.
Yeah, I think my take on that is, when we get into relationships, we say things that change people. Wives change husbands, husbands change wives. You change who that person is. Yeah? And then 5 years, 10 years down the road, the fatal words come out. You're not the person I married. But you don't stop and realize you changed
also,
that person. You are also not the person your partner married. We don't stop and think about that. And that's what we need to do.
Yeah, couples should make each other better people.
Yeah.
And
Ideally.
never turn around and say, you're not the person I married.
Yeah.
Never.
Because people change, yeah.
Yeah.
It is such a destroying statement.
Which is why I mentioned, right, words can hurt.
Words hurt. They really hurt.
Words. Okay. Do you want to go into the 4 horsemen, or do you want the 7 deadly and 7 connecting? I've got
Wow.
2. You
Oh,
Okay,
Which
11
one do
of
we
them.
want?
Wow.
the 4 horsemen.
Pick one.
Yeah, the four,
Four horsemen.
One.
the four
We can do
horsemen.
an overview of the 4 that we're going into traffic later.
4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yes, and the 4 horsemen are criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. So these are the 4 horsemen that breaks a relationship.
Stonewalling.
Stonewalling.
What was the first one?
Yeah, what did you
Yes.
say? Can you go through it again?
Contempt.
Contempt?
Criticism,
Criticism.
defensiveness, contempt,
Oh.
stonewalling.
Criticism.
Yeah, so these are
Okay.
the 4 horsemen that breaks the relationship. So criticism is where it's a direct attack on the person. It's not trying to give a constructive criticism. It's not trying to voice your opinion. It's that direct attack on the person, which then brings abusiveness.
Right, yeah.
Direct attack in terms of words, right?
Yeah.
Not the physical.
Physical, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it's
Yes.
physical, that's it. Police.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's abuse. That's out.
Okay, you know what? We gotta go for a traffic update. We'll come back and we'll talk about these 4 points.
Yeah.
Good morning, Dr. Jerry. Just before we came back onto the radio on the Big Show TV, we were talking about criticism, and you mentioned sort of direct criticism, kind of verbal attacks on the person, right?
Yes.
And then Glenn said, okay, he clarified it. It's not physical, because if it's physical, then obviously it's abuse, it's physical abuse. But
it's criminal.
doesn't verbal attacking also come under abuse as well?
It can come under verbal abuse. It can be gaslighting. It can be all that. But here we're talking about criticism in the very traditional sense.
Okay.
you know. Yeah, yeah.
But don't some people not realize that it is a personal attack? They think that, I'm just trying to tell you something. A lot of
So
it.
we always see the other party, how they behave, right? So if there's an attack, a verbal attack, and then you notice that there is defensiveness, so where the person will try and look for all sorts of excuses and try and defend themselves, but it only aggravates the other party, because then both sides are not hearing each other, okay, what each other needs. So the one that is defending thinks that, I'm trying to tell you how unfair you are, but the one that is criticizing feels that, but you're not taking responsibility here. You ought to take responsibility, because I've told you something that you do need to do, to take action, but you're not.
So both parties think they're right.
So both sides would think that I'm doing the right thing and you are the one at fault. So in this case, no one is able to see eye to eye.
So how do they come to a compromise then?
So there's this antidote for each of the horsemen. So for criticism, it's using the I language. So rather than saying you take responsibility and say, I feel, I feel this way, I feel hurt, and then you can state whatever that you would like to state. And it's gentler, is not as harsh as just taking a gun and pointing it at the person.
Unfortunately, Jerry, every time we talk about these things, right, I always think that, and I always feel, and this is based on experience, and I think many people go through this as well. Once the intimacy starts to fade away, that's when many things start to happen. When a couple are on the same page, they're intimate, they can't get enough of each other, everything is fine.
Yeah.
But the moment there is a disconnect in that area, things start to get ugly.
So we need to fix things in the bedroom first?
I think so.
Well, I think intimacy goes beyond the bedroom, though.
Yeah, that's
I know.
true.
I
Yeah.
also think so.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what most people say, but
It starts in the bedroom.
yeah. Right?
Interest.
I think sexual intimacy is that expression of the emotional intimacy. Many people forget about the emotional intimacy and only launch into the physical intimacy. But if that is the case, then you would see a lot of seniors having divorce or going their own ways, or you can't sustain a long distance relationship.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
some have it for many years. So if we think that a long distance relationship is only fueled by physical intimacy, then we are very, very wrong.
Yeah,
Which is true.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a very good point.
There's
The
phone
long
sex?
distance. Yeah, there is phone sex.
Yeah, there is.
There's now Zoom sex as well,
And that's true. It's called OnlyFans.
and Instagram and everything else.
No, but Jerry.
It's not just about the sex, Glenn.
Yeah, there's more to it.
He doesn't believe it.
There's emotional intimacy.
Yeah, intelligence.
There is.
There's
There is.
emotional intimacy, which is
It's almost like
So
making love
powerful.
versus having sex.
Right.
Not just the physical part. but
Why
the whole-
can't we have it all? Did we almost have it all?
Jerry. Can we have it all?
Sometimes there are, it's nothing is perfect, but sometimes you have a good balance of it.
Yeah.
Or both are very fulfilled. So it appears to be very balanced for that couple. It
Okay,
can be very different.
Yeah. So, okay, using the I language instead of using the you language and attacking.
Yes.
What
And then
about
for the defensiveness, we take responsibility. We can say, use the I language again. I don't like it, but I understand that I did something wrong. Just doing that just eases that whole situation. So you have the I statement for criticism. We have the responsible statement for the defensiveness. Then we come to contempt and stonewalling. So contempt is that disrespect, that mocking, that gaslighting, that putting down of the other person. Okay, even things like that are non-verbal, like you roll your eyes at the person, or you go, you say and scoff at the person. Things like that all are included in contempt.
Okay, let's
And what
continue. Let's continue
Okay.
this conversation on the Big Show TV, okay? Right now, here's Whitney Houston. I want to dance with somebody right here on...
It's like press button,
Literally, it's press button.
We've got a timer on.
On air and off air.
Okay, so contempt, and what contempt elicits would be stonewalling. So the other person with the whole onslaught, right, would then withdraw, would then hide from the person, and stop responding because what do you expect them to do, right? So they tune out. But when they tune out, it just makes the other person angrier because you're not responding at all. Okay. So the antidote, right? Oh, you want to ask something, Angel?
No. I
no.
waiting for the antidote.
Okay, the antidote. So if you're filled with contempt, perhaps you're not filled with contempt, but you're not aware of how you put things across, and you are just firing all the words. Then use this ratio: 5 neutral or positive statements before you throw in a negative one.
Oh,
So
wow.
these are actually what the teachers in school have learned when they give feedback to the students. So we also want to learn how to give feedback to our partners. 5 neutral or positive statements first before 1 negative statement.
Wow, that's
I
clever,
like that.
man.
I like that.
That negative
Yeah.
statement will never come up.
Exactly, because by the time you want to get there, you're like, oh, but hold on, I can carry on with this.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that.
But Jerry,
And for-
sorry, let me just jump in here. 5 positive or neutral statements and 1 negative. And they're saying by the time you go through the 5, the negative will not come out. But the negative must come out. It has
The
to come out
negative-
because it's part of communication.
Yes. But you see, what they are saying, FD, is that sometimes we speak without thinking and we are very impulsive. So if we pace ourselves and slow ourselves down, perhaps that negative thought in our mind isn't so negative after all. But FD, you're absolutely right. If there is something to be addressed, it has to be addressed, and it will be addressed once the 5 statements come up.
And also, by the time you've done those 5 statements, maybe the negative one doesn't seem as negative as you first thought it out to be, right?
Yep, and it becomes manageable. The other party is a little bit more open and amicable to trying to make it work.
Okay.
I love the antidotes. What about for stonewalling?
Stonewalling, this one is easy. If you know that you are so activated and your body is just reacting and shutting down, go out, take a break, take a breather, do something that you like. Sayang yourself first. So take a break, sayang yourself first, because the other person might have a point to make, but you're taking it too personally and everything comes up. So that helps to pace you and pace the other person. So no point sitting there and being a vase. Go out.
Right. Are you talking like Are you talking about most of us husbands? We're
Being a vase?
Yeah, exactly.
we do
You're being
tend
a vessel.
You know why? Because I mean, we always say, right, happy wife, happy life, right? And yeah, I think many of us husbands take that literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, to the point sometimes I feel like we're giving in to our wives.
But you also need a happy husband, right? I mean,
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying all.
It sounds fun to say happy life.
Yeah.
Happy.
Good morning, and I am at Samaritans of Singapore. They very kindly lent me the meeting room, so thank you very much, SOS.
And thanks so much for doing this, despite the fact that you have something going on right after this show with us.
You guys are fun, and everyone is actually quite excited. So I'm sure they're watching from somewhere.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Should I mean, is that a good thing? Because I think many husbands these days, right? I mean, they take that literally.
Yeah.
Right, and it's true for many couples, I think.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if the wife is not happy, the husband's miserable.
Why do you think that statement has come about, Dr. Jerry? Is it because it's the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world, because the woman is actually the one that looks after everything? Everything.
I don't know how it came about, and I'll be curious to find out. But I've been thinking about it, and all these years, and I was always wondering why. I'm not sure why I didn't Google it, but just pondering about it, right? And one of the thoughts would be that the woman is definitely more expressive. She expresses her happiness, her surprise, her anger, her frustration, and also her pleasures and joys. So all the positive and negative emotions she expresses. So it's easier to observe a woman than to observe a man who doesn't express very much of his negative emotions.
What?
So
Sorry. Go ahead.
Maybe back in the day.
not everybody is like Glenn and FD and Shaun,
I actually have a totally different take on it. Happy wife, happy life is very simple. Men are extremely physical animals. And when your wife is unhappy, she has the ability to withhold that physicality from a relationship. Therefore, the man is not happy.
Actually,
Therefore,
he's right.
happy wife,
Yeah.
happy life. That's it.
Oh.
That's it. Because let's face it, a man is never going to hold back the physicality of a relationship.
Very
a
simple.
woman can.
Yes.
So if she's
Correct.
angry, she's just not going to give it.
She ain't going to give it. So man not happy.
That is
Well,
true.
it makes sense.
I agree with that.
Is it that simplistic though, Dr.
primal.
Jerry?
Us guys,
yeah,
we're just-
so primal.
we're very simple.
exactly.
We are
very
primal.
simple.
That's all we want.
We
It's like,
are
okay,
primal.
what do I get in return? Huh? Okay. All right.
Well, not that
You're
bad.
on.
Get some tonight, honey.
Yes.
We'll see
Jerry-
if you
Jerry,
behave.
That's why it's called getting lucky, right?
What do you think, Jerry? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I enjoy that opinion, and I think many people will enjoy that opinion. But in many relationships, the man will go, you know what, whatever lah, you don't want to give me, I go outside and find.
That is true
it's
as
not-
well.
Yeah.
I can't find, paid services or I can just do it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some do say that in sessions. So I don't know about that statement. I hear the statement. It is really primal. I get it, and it's logical, but I've heard the other side. So not the best person to comment on that.
Well, it's kind of interesting because with the idea of a woman being able to hold back that physicality, the thought of, I'll go out and pay for it never occurs to me.
Yes, exactly.
It just means that, damn it, man, I'm not going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like, go out and pay for it. It's
Yeah.
Like, ew.
Yeah. Shaun?
Like what?
Shouldn't the intention be more happiness of your spouse rather than
What she's going to do for you.
what she's gonna do, or what can I get in return for this relationship? So
Yeah.
if the intention is, okay, I want you to be happy, then I would spend my time, my value, and everything to make your happiness come true. And likewise for both partners, right? Then both of you are happy in a relationship.
Wow, here's the single man that's just gone so deep, Look at us three
Please
married
listen to my
people.
podcast then.
Dr. Jerry?
Absolutely. I think Sean made a really, really good point. Why are we making our relationships so conditional? We're trying to look, opening up the relationship, and here we are putting a condition onto the relationship. Sean, thanks for reminding all of us. Shame on all of us for not remembering.
Right?
No, they remember. They remember.
I think I need to be neutered. I think
I think it's all the golf. I'm making you
everything will
excited.
be okay. But then again, I neutered Biscuit. He's still humping the pillow.
Well, maybe you can join in with that pillow.
So my question is, Glenn, if you get neutered, do you have a bolster?
No, he's got that beanbag that he can't get up off.
No, but Prashant has come onto our Facebook page and left an Albert Einstein quote.
Okay.
Women marry men hoping they will change. Men marry women hoping they will not. So inevitably, each ends up disappointed.
Oh, so
No, I
negative.
can't think like that.
No,
Yeah.
so negative. Cannot. Thanks, Prashant.
And that's why the fellow was single, you know, right?
So mean.
His hair, all, nobody took care of him. Nobody combed his hair.
He had a condition with his hair. We found that out.
I don't even know who this guy is.
Albert
No,
Einstein.
Albert Einstein.
Oh,
Albert
We're not
Einstein.
talking about Prashant. No.
Where? I mean, where did you meet Prashant? Wait, what time is it?
Yeah,
It's 8:45.
Hey.
Oh my.
Yes, and
goodness.
we're on air
Yes, on air.
Okay, are we on air?
Yes.
talking about humping pillows and everything.
What?
Yeah. You said you wanted to get neutered on public radio. I think I know.
Only for the Big Show TV.
I think I know of a vet that you can go to.
Oh, butcher.
Companion animal surgery, Dr. Miles. I'm on the way. Okay, anyway. All right, thank you so much, Jerry. Any last words?
Yes, so Prashant gave a quote from Albert Einstein. Let me give something from Ronald Reagan. Peace is not absence of conflict. It's the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. So that's something
okay.
for us to chew about.
All right.
Thanks, Dr.
By
Jerry.
peaceful means. There you go.
All right.
Nothing like, peace at home. Bye, Jerry.
Thanks, Dr. Jerry.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.